Why, hello there. Knives Tower here. Hope you're having a good day today. Today I'm bringing you an unboxing of another knife that has just randomly shown up. I had no idea this was coming. Well, that's not entirely true. I had been told this was coming, but I had not received any confirmation that it was in fact on its way, or that it was coming, or that when it was showing up, or anything of the sort. So it sort of just showed up out of blue, much like if you watched my previous unboxing, the IR V2 prototype. I was notified that it would eventually be coming, but I had no idea when. So this just showed up, the box, and I was like, I have no idea what this is. So I got a little impatient and got into the box. The box is actually right here, to see if I was correct in my assumption, and yes, it is a second SRM knife that I have ever checked out. You can see the unboxing for the first one. The review for that should be coming up shortly. I bought the first one. This one, in the interest of transparency, I did not buy this knife. This one was sent to me by SRM for review, which is pretty cool. Very, very kind of them. Very, very appreciate that. This is a bit of a smaller knife than I thought. I mean, I knew it wasn't big, but I have to admit, it's a little bit smaller than I thought. Is this... Is this like the carbon fiber Peel Ply G10? No, I'm not sure it is. It's contoured. There's a flat, like, high, but it's pretty close to being contoured. I think this is just black G10. That looks good. This is the variant that I did ask to check out. And once again, shout out to SRM for doing that. This, maybe my channel's getting a little bit of traction here. I'm not complaining whatsoever. It was surprising one day, after like 2 days in a row of knives just show up, and it's like, I didn't buy anything. What the hell's going on? Alright. What is this model? This is the, I don't remember if it has a name off the top of my head, 251 MB. So it's just, you got a model number on there. If there is a name, of course, I will find it for the full review and everything. This is just the unboxing. Interesting. Interesting. This is a very, very minimal, sort of sleek... Well, honestly, the other knife I had was even sleeker, and it was bigger, but it was sleek, and it had the blade fold into the handle completely. Clamshell construction on what feels like... That's got to be like an aluminum, right? I mean, maybe it's a plastic, but it kind of feels like aluminum. The finish they have just has a little bit of texture, so that's what's throwing me off. Normally aluminum's real smooth, but that might just be the finish on it. Yeah, that's got to be an aluminum. Yeah, that's definitely aluminum. G10 inlays on both sides. I think there are a number of variants for this. In fact, I think a new variant recently came out. Deep carry wire pocket clip. I mean, it does have a big flat on the end. I'm never fond of that, but we'll see how that goes. Crossbar lock style with this very minimal deployment. What do you even call that? I mean, it's a front flipper, it's a top flipper, it's just a... I don't even know what to call that. SRM, stay ready for more logo there. I guess the model number, well, no, that's the model name or number, and that's some other code. N690 blade steel, that's pretty good. This is a budget knife, and N690 is not usually one that I complain too much about. I mean, budget steels being what they are, N690 is pretty reasonable. Sharpening choil and plunge grind. Plunge grind is basically at the very top of the sharpening choil, so that it's also very symmetrical. Is it completely symmetrical? Let's see. It is darn near perfectly symmetrical. It might be... Yeah, I think it's perfectly symmetrical. It just looks a little bit off, of course, because one side's sharpened and the other side is not. I think that's pretty darn perfectly symmetrical. So dagger-shaped blade, one side is not sharpened because, yeah, you would definitely hit that. Decent looking edge. Yeah, it's thick behind the edge, but I mean, this is one of those knives where you don't really complain about that. If say, the buck knife here was super thick and chunky and had a grind this tall on it, I would say that's unnecessary. You have all this blade, you have a utilitarian design and function and shape, or not function. You have all of that, and then decided to make it not functional, basically. But that's like the style. That's the aesthetic. That's what's going on here. That's what you're trading out for, right? It's not you can't buy something like this and be like, oh, it's too thick. No, you should expect that going in. Very neutral handle. Comfortable in the hand, surprisingly. Yeah, you always feel wire pocket clips. I know some people don't like them for that reason. But this is not, it's not uncomfortable. This is not bad. In fact, this is pretty surprisingly good for being such a small knife. In fact, how small is it? Ooh, we are just under 3 inches. Just like 2.9. Yeah, just under 3 inches from where I can see. Might not look that on the camera, but in person here, it looks like the 3-inch mark is like right there. So it's like 2.9, 2.95. So if you have a limitation on how long of a blade you can carry, like under 3 inches or something like that, this might work for you. Definitely on bearings. There's steel liners underneath, though it's very light. The crossbar lock is, yeah, the springs aren't strong, but this is an interesting way to get around that, actually. The way this thing works, because it's so low profile, you have to push into it either way and pull, and it doesn't feel as mushy because of the way you're interfacing with it, I think. Like, sometimes crossbar locks can feel just very mushy because they, especially, well, let's be honest, Benchmade a lot because they put theirs on washers. Because there's no real detent in there. But this one, this is an interesting one. This sort of wheel deployment thing kind of makes it, I don't know why, it's kind of eliminating that a little bit. Internal stop pin attached to the blade, very nice to see there. It is centered. Is that play I'm feeling? No, I don't think it's blade play. Oh, I know what it is. You know how some of the times you get a crossbar lock where it's just got a little bit of tiny little bit of like movement? I think when I'm doing that, I can feel that moving just a tiny bit. I don't think there's actually any blade play. It's just a tiny little sort of wiggle in the crossbar itself. But the crossbar is locked inside a channel in the blade. So it's definitely not going anywhere. Completely encapsulated there. And this is, of course, not a heavy-duty knife. It's a very small, surprisingly ergonomic, stylized knife. This is pretty nice. This is nicer than I was expecting. I thought it looked cool. I do remember asking for this, but let's see. Ooh, that's kind of satisfying. Can you can top flip. You can kind of front flip. you can slow roll it out. That's actually kind of satisfying. I don't know why, but that slow roll is kind of satisfying. This is pretty nice for another budget knife from SRM. They seem to be doing some good stuff here. Now, how does it cut? This is a terrible, horrible, beat up cardboard box. Let's see how it cuts. If this cardboard box hadn't already gotten wet, I would say that was a problem, but that was, of course, just folding. Let's see. Let's see. I mean, theoretically, it's, like I said, it's thick. It gets thick fast. The geometry is not perfect. I wouldn't... it's not a knife I'm going to complain about, but... Okay. Honestly, not as... Yeah, it's tearing a little bit as it gets out to the tip. Just a tiny bit on the back end of it. Though that might also be, again, the cardboard. No, that's pretty good. That is pretty good. That is surprisingly good, actually. I didn't expect it to do quite this well. Interesting. Well, that cuts better than I expected it to with the geometry and the way it's all set up. So, no complaints there. Alright. So, I'm going to do my thing. Do the, a little bit of care, a little bit of use, a little bit of looking up some stuff. See if I can't find the name and such. Very smooth. I mean, pretty darn smooth for, like, a budget knife. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, it's light, but the way the wheel works, it's not... It seems to provide a slight bit more snap for some reason than the light. Like, it's more reliable than you'd think. It doesn't feel as bad or mushy to interact with, possibly due to the wheel and the way it's interacting with things. Yeah, this is pretty good. Like I said, I'm going to do my stuff, get ready for the review, which will be coming in probably 2 weeks-ish. But this seems pretty solid. Alright. I'm going to end things here. Say thank you very much for watching. Consider liking and subscribing if you've made it this far. If you haven't, I mean, you still can leave a like and subscribe. Don't misunderstand me. You just won't have heard me say it. But I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching very much, and have a great day.